gaze upon this image and weep, my friends. The 2019 iPhone 11 is certainly something else. Just wow. I leave for a couple weeks and I come back and I don't understand Apple anymore. 2 weeks, that's all it took. So what you guys are seeing is supposedly the 2019 iPhone 11 as it will be. Now things are still prone to change, but the core identity of the iPhone is most likely this. This is coming from OnLeaks on Twitter. It's been out for a while already. I didn't originally cover it, but now I'm getting to it, and what a trip it has been digging into these rumors, digging into this design. And actually, while redesigning this to get some better renders, better look, we noticed a lot of little key details that I didn't see being mentioned anywhere. If this is accurate, this is absolutely one of the most insane designs from Apple ever, and there are so many reasons why that is. But I just want to say, at first it struck me completely odd. Like, there's no way Apple would do this. You know, I sat and thought about it for a few days, and now it's a little more likely, I think, that Apple would do something like this, just because Apple's always been about very distinctive design. The notch on the iPhone X is a very controversial design choice, but instantly when you look at it, you know it's an iPhone. I mean, Apple's always been about being distinct, being easily identifiable in the crowd, and this square design would certainly be so. So let's break this down. I assume on the left, the lenses would be the same as the iPhone XS Max. The interesting choice here is that Apple decided to relocate the flash unit and add a third lens. Now, we knew that the third lens was coming. There have been so many concepts kind of wondering what Apple would do, and this is the reality. This is what they're likely or most likely going to do. It's been confirmed by actually several sources that this is the design of the 2019 iPhone. I will say this though, if this truly delivers a better camera experience, you'll learn to love it. It doesn't matter how it looks, as long as it makes your life better with better quality images and all the other benefits that a third lens would add, you will learn to love it. So let's break this down. While modeling this iPhone, we learned that the lens is freakishly large. If that render is to be believed, which supposedly it is, then that lens would be about 2.5 times larger than the iPhone XS Max. Not only that, the flash and the microphone are larger as well, which is very, very strange. I know that Apple's always been proud of their flash, and you know, they've got quad flash. I don't know of anyone that has that. They're very advanced in that. Now they're making it even larger, and the microphone as well. So personally, what I think is that the design, yes, is correct, but the proportions are wrong. In their render, it seems too unrealistic. We modeled it anyways. You know, by all means, we modeled it for you guys. It was very difficult, but we did it, and this is what it looks like. I mean, it's surreal. How is this a real design? How? Now, Vanya Geskin has his own versions of these concepts, which we also built a model off of, and this is more realistic. Like, this is almost kind of cute in a robotic kind of way. Like, I could see Apple doing something like this. The overall camera lens just grows to the right, adds another lens, relocates the flash and mic, and that's all good. But the one from OnLeaks is ridiculously huge, so I'm not sure what that's about. Now, two, look at that lens and how it attaches to the actual body of the iPhone. There is no breaks. It's a clean flow straight into the body. It looks really nice. It's just like the iPhone 7 Plus in jet black, but realistically, it would be near impossible to do in glass on a large scale. So that begs a question, something that I thought of: what is this thing made of? There's no way it's metal. Obviously, that would destroy the wireless charging feature, and a lot of people would not sacrifice a nice design to get rid of wireless charging. So realistically, if this was the design 100%, that would very likely be ceramic. And this is just my opinion, but Apple actually filed for a patent earlier in 2018 for ceramic in multiple colors in ceramic housings for iPhones. That was not even a year ago. So Apple is working on ceramic bodies for iPhones. At least their patents say so. So could it be that the new 2019 iPhone will have a ceramic body as it matches this render? It explains why there's no break in between the camera and the body. Now, a logical solution for that to have a glass back and still have a similar design is right here. This is what we came up with, basically a small break between the lens and the body so that the glass can be replaced. In fact, this would actually make that design a little bit nicer, where you could replace the glass without having to remove the camera lens. So that's one solution, but the render doesn't show that. There is no break between the lens and the back, so ceramic could be used. Ceramic actually has a lot of cool benefits, like it's pretty light, it's very, very scratch resistant, it can dissipate heat better than aluminum if it has zirconia in it. That's a type of ceramic that Apple used in making of the Apple Watch Series 4. So it's certainly possible, and how cool would it be for Apple to try some new materials out in the iPhone? That would be an incredibly premium material, but also very expensive. Ceramic on its own is not expensive. It's just the manufacturers can tack on very high prices, and not a lot of people sell ceramic things, so there's really no set price for it. Honestly, I think the iPhone 7 Plus in jet black is one of Apple's peak iPhone designs ever, and if they were to reproduce that in the 2019 iPhone with ceramic, you would have almost no visible antenna lines. The whole phone would just feel like this one sleek continuation. Now, OnLeak's source claims that this is still in the engineering validation and test stage. It's not a final prototype, it's still prone to change, but at this point in time, there's not a lot of change that they can do for this year's iPhones. All of the features have already been preset, pre-planned. It's only the 2020 iPhones where there's some variation there. They can change the features just because it's so far away. The design is prone to change. So this is all pointing towards that this design is the real deal, and 2019 is going to be an absolutely weird year for Apple. A couple things I'd like to point out about the triple lens is what it would be used for. That third lens essentially would be a 3D mapping lens. It would be capable of better AR, better VR, just because it would have 3D sensing capabilities built in using the time of flight approach. And in addition to those 3D sensing features, it would also be capable of the first 3 times optical zoom ever on an iPhone. Currently, the XS Max and XS can do 2 times. So it would increase it just a little bit. It's a bit disappointing that it wouldn't be able to do 5 times, but even that would still be a great upgrade. And also an additional improvement is that this could be used for better low light photography. This could finally catch up to the Pixel's night sight feature if this is a true camera sensor and not just a monochrome one used to determine, depth of field for that 3D sensor. And this report also mentions that the iPhone 11, the 5.8-inch model, will not have that triple lens system. That'll be reserved just for the top-end iPhone 11 Max, let's call it, probably what it would be called. So for the people that prefer smaller iPhones, you'd kind of be screwed. You wouldn't be getting the best camera system. Maybe some people would prefer not to have that monstrosity on their phones, but realistically, you wouldn't be getting the best features just because you chose a smaller iPhone, which honestly kind of sucks. And in case you guys were hoping these rumors were not correct, even Ice Universe himself backs this claim and says this is indeed the 2019 iPhone design. Now, with that early look at the iPhone 11, we still don't have a look at the front of the phone. The front of the phone may still change drastically. The notch is supposedly getting smaller, and in order for that to happen, Vanya Geskin makes a very interesting point here. So he created this graphic. This is what needs to happen for the iPhone to have a smaller notch. The earpiece needs to be relocated higher up, and that'll free up some room to consolidate those true depth cameras as was rumored and make a smaller notch. So smaller notch would mean more room for your content, less intrusion. Ultimately, of course, we'd like to have an iPhone without a notch, but the technology is just still not there. One thing I'll tell you for sure, if Apple releases another iPhone this year with the same sized notch, they will absolutely be shooting themselves in the foot. All the competitors are moving away from notches. Pinhole cameras are the thing, and Apple coming out with the same notch would just be terrible. So without a doubt, the notch will be shrinking this year. And in related news, Sony, which is likely to be the provider of that third lens camera for Apple, is massively boosting their output of 3D sensing cameras. So this is a type of camera that's going to help Apple achieve all of those AR and VR goals. And if you had any doubts that Apple would be adding a third lens, this is even further evidence to support that. And I'd also like to share these with you. So Vanya Geskin made his own mock-ups and depictions of the iPhone 11 with a much more manageable lens. It doesn't look so much like a tumor, it's a lot cuter, like I said. Then we're gonna have the iPhone XR2 with a dual lens camera, and this report is coming from Wall Street Journal. They're claiming that this year's iPhones will still be a very similar setup. It'll be a 3 iPhone lineup: the iPhone 11, the iPhone 11 Max, and the iPhone XR2. The iPhone XR2 will now have dual lenses, and that means there will no longer be any single lens iPhones in the 2019 iPhone lineup, which is great. The consumer is getting a lot more for their money, and oh boy, you are going to be paying a lot of money for these iPhones. If what I said is true and it does indeed have a ceramic option or is the standard, the material for the iPhone 11, then the prices are prices are just going to keep growing. And at what point, what point will Apple just collapse because people refuse to pay so much for iPhones? I mean, it's already happening. You see it all around you. Apple cannot raise the prices. We haven't heard anything about that, but as soon as we hear something about the price, I'll be sure to share with you. All right, guys, so that's not everything I wanted to share with you. Tomorrow, I'm making a follow-up video. We're going to talk about more of the smaller details and rumors regarding the iPhone, but I just wanted to talk about the design with you because that is one of the most groundbreaking, and I'm not sure in a good way, design for Apple. It's just so different, so alien. It could be a good thing though, honestly. I'm thinking that because it's so distinct, and if it does indeed add great functionality to the iPhone, and if those lenses really are larger, you would assume that the quality would be going up, massively. The lenses are going to be letting so much more light in. The flash is larger. That would mean a greater flash output. The microphone is larger. That would mean greater recording capability, better quality, and so on. So wow, this could be a landmark iPhone change. Whether you like it or not, the features will speak for themselves. So we'll talk more about a lot of the smaller details tomorrow. I just wanted to share that design and talk about a lot of those key points with you. This thing will be getting some serious quality boosts. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.